The King's Tavern restaurant stands on the outskirts of NATCHEZ, Mississippi. Constructed sometime in the 1760s, it is one of the oldest buildings in the city, renowned for its antebellum homes. In the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the structure was a mill run and a tavern where weary travelers on the NATCHEZ Trace sought refuge from the elements. The inn derives its name from Richard King, who acquired the building in 1789 and converted it into a tavern. His guests range from the famous to the infamous. Politicians such as Aaron Burr and Andrew Jackson boarded there, but so did a host of outlaws, such as Big Harpe. Like many frontier outposts in that period of history, it was frequently the scene of fierce altercations between drunken guests who settled their arguments with guns and knives. Some residents of NATCHEZ believe that the walls of the old tavern still resonate with elements from its violent past. Generations of owners, servers, and patrons have had paranormal experiences in the restaurant. Susan Adams, director of a historic home in NATCHEZ called Magnolia, believes that there are at least 2 ghosts at King's Tavern, both of whom are mischievous. The most playful of the tavern's ghosts is the spirit of Richard King's mistress, a woman known only as Madeline. Employees of the tavern claim that she seems to enjoy water. Water has dripped from the ceiling where there are no water pipes. One of the owners of the tavern, Yvonne Scott, said that when the inn first opened under her management, there was no hot water upstairs. While she was discussing the plumbing with a friend, hot water started running out of a dead pipe. Madeline has been credited with other phenomena in the tavern as well. The heavy door of the waitress station has stopped mid-swing. Alarms in the restaurant have gone off at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. for no apparent reason. After this happens, an inside door on the 2nd floor is always standing open. Lights that have been turned off go back on after the employees have left the building. Waitresses walking into the pantry storage rooms have seen balls of lights bouncing off the walls. And it seems that if you go upstairs alone, Madeline also likes to say hello. But the attic seems to be Madeline's private domain. In the 1980s, a woman in the restroom was looking in the mirror while putting on her lipstick when her image was replaced by that of a young woman with red hair. She exited the restroom very quickly in an agitated state. Employees have gotten the impression that Madeline is very protective of her privacy in this part of the house. Yvonne Scott said that Madeline expresses her displeasure by blowing out the light bulbs. One night, she blew every light on the 2nd floor after a group of people walked into the attic. However, when Grover Moberly became manager in 1977, he found evidence of Madeline's presence on his first day of work. While making an inspection of the restaurant on a Monday morning, he walked up to the 3rd floor bathroom and was shocked to find small footprints all over the floor. Moberly said the prints must have been made sometime Sunday night or early Monday morning because the floor was mopped and waxed Sunday. The strange thing is that no living person was up there, especially with feet that small. The footprints measured only 7 inches with 6 toes showing on one foot. From the placement of the footprints, it appeared that someone had just climbed out of the bathtub onto the wooden floor with wet bare feet. The tracks led from the tub to the bathroom and then proceeded into the clothes closet. The footprints stopped abruptly at the bathroom door. Chills ran down his spine when he examined the bathtub and found a spider web stretched across it, indicating that no water had been turned on in the tub. At noon the next day, additional footprints were found in the bedroom. No tracks were visible on the floor between the 2 rooms. Moberly was particularly puzzled by the appearance of this set of footprints because they were not there when he was in the room earlier in that same day. Down through the years, employees have heard the sound of footsteps coming from parts of the restaurant where no one was present. A waitress working in the fall of 2000 said that she can actually feel the presence when Madeline is around. Some mornings she has walked into the tavern and felt Madeline's presence. Instead of entering the dining area through the swinging door of the waitress station on those days, she remains on the other side, getting the salads, napkins, and silverware ready. One morning when she felt uneasy, she waited until the feeling subsided and walked through the swinging doors. Glancing at the fireplace area, she was surprised to find little footprints all around it. The waitress shuddered because the footprints were on part of the floor under which 3 skeletons were discovered in 1930 when the sewage lines were being installed. Later, when a chimney partially collapsed near where the skeletons had been found, a jewel-encrusted Spanish dagger was found. The discovery of the skeletons and the dagger gave rise to the theory that Madeline had been stabbed with the dagger and buried under the tavern. Probably the most disturbing phenomenon that occurs at the King's Tavern on a regular basis is the sound of a baby crying. An employee named Sonia Frost heard the baby crying while she was putting crackers on the tables. She combed the inside and the outside of the building, but found no sign of a baby having been there. The crying sound seemed to come from the wall in the post office or from the dumbwaiter on the outside of the wall. The source of the crying baby has been traced back to a tragic incident that occurred in the tavern in the early 1800s. An outlaw named Big Harpe was in a room in the tavern one night when he heard the sound of crying coming from the adjoining mailroom. He entered the room to find a mother sitting on a bed, cradling an infant. Big Harpe took the infant from the woman's arms and slammed it against the wall, killing it instantly. Danny Scott, the daughter of the owner of King's Tavern, has had several unnerving experiences in the old tavern as well. I'll be in the building and I know I'm totally alone. Then I'll hear somebody call my name. Other times I'll go upstairs and feel somebody touch my shoulder. When I turn around, there's no one there. Sometimes the chains hanging in the dining room that used to be the mailroom will swing by themselves. They also say that at midnight during a full moon, you can see the ghost of one of the Indian runners standing by the fireplace in the mailroom. He likes to run his fingers through the hair of blonde women. The attic really bothers me, she said. I really do hate it. The story goes that years ago, a mother left her baby alone up there, and it suffocated. Sometimes when I'm up there, I have trouble catching my breath, like I'm being suffocated. Then after I've been up there, I'll hear the baby crying for days afterwards, like it's reaching out for help. Even though King's Tavern has been a terrifying place to work at times, most of the employees do not mind sharing their tavern with the ghost. The spirits may be bothersome at times, but they have never done anything malicious. It could be that they simply want to make their presence known. The King's Tavern is located at 619 Jefferson Street in NATCHEZ, Mississippi. So if you're ever in the area, maybe stop by, have a drink, or spend some time with Madeline. Until next time, let's see what's out there.